Okay, so let's not do Aries. Let's not do Aries today. Let's do. So this what you're seeing here is an Aries rising chart. Okay, because you see Aries in the first house becomes the Aries rising chart. Let's do Gemini rising. Okay, so you can see the third sign has moved into the first house. Therefore, this is a Gemini rising sign. Okay. Can someone tell me what planet rules the 10th house of career here in this chart? Anyone? What sign do you? I think you. Saturn. No, Monica. Saturn is not. Saturn is not the owner of the 10th house. So here's the 10th house. What sign do you guys see in the 12th? Sorry, 12th sign in the 10th house. Anyone remember who the owner of or what sign that is?
Is it
Pisces.
Pisces?
Perfect. So who's the owner of Pisces? Pam is saying Jupiter. Okay. So this person's come to you and he wants to know what he can do for a living.
How did you determine that? Could you please like revise that?
Okay, so we're doing career analysis on this chart. Okay, so this
Yes.
person has come to you and he wants to know what he can do for a living. And
Copy
I'm
that.
trying to cover the example that you requested, Jay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're covering career. There's no planet in the 10th house.
Got it.
Who's the ruler of the 10th house?
The 10th house has Rasi written as 12. Then the owner should be Jupiter. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I thought it was Saturn. Sorry, I thought it
You're
was
right.
11.
Jupiter
But
is
my bad.
so Jupiter is the
Okay.
owner of the 10th house. Okay, so because there's no planet sitting in the 10th house, Jupiter is taking charge.
You are saying this because of the Rasi sitting in the 10th house,
And
right?
the
Is this
10th house,
correct?
exactly.
Got it. Yeah. So actually, I thought it was 11. Sorry, my bad. But now it
Okay,
makes sense. Yeah. Please continue.
correct. So in this chart, can someone tell me what this person can do? Remember, we went through houses, and what house is Jupiter sitting in this case?
That's in second house. So probably something related to finances, probably financial institution, something banking,
Perfect.
or or maybe a business with family that requires a lot of money, cash flow. Just a guess.
That's good. That's true. Does
Or
any?
probably yeah. Go on, sorry.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. So he can work in a family, like he can work with his family because the second house also represents family, right?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions regarding what Jay just said?
Uh, so why is Jupiter in the second house
Am I right?
in this
Yeah.
case?
Why is Jupiter in
To
the second house?
Yeah,
Okay. So do you see, Pawan, do you see Jupiter right here?
yeah. So is it like we have selected something from
Yeah, we've
Jupiter?
just selected a random chart.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going into actual charts right now
Uh,
because if you go into actual charts, you have to look at a lot of other aspects, advanced aspects. Okay, so it gets confusing. So it's best to understand it like that.
okay.
Okay, so
One
this,
quick question for this. Is it right to say that the person should be very knowledgeable when it comes to money, and if they wanna pursue something in related to finances, they should be well read and well studied. Is this a correct way of looking at it? Was
this
Jupiter right?
person will be very educated on money.
Yes.
He will be.
Given the fact if he is not, it's right to say that the person should study a lot about money and be very what do you call it? What do you call it? Very
Whether
knowledgeable
he
when it
should,
comes
okay,
to
so now if you're talking about education, right?
yes.
Right? If you're talking about education, it's a good point that you bring it up. If he should study anything related to or if he is going to study anything related to finance.
Yes.
Can anyone tell me whether he is going to necessarily study anything related to finance? Just by having Jupiter in the second house. I'll give you
Yes,
a
it should
hint.
be yes.
I'll give you a hint.
Got it. Yeah.
The fifth house was your regular education, and the ninth house was higher, like your post-secondary or
Higher
higher.
education, yeah.
Okay. Do you see Jupiter so far? Do you see Jupiter making any links with the fifth?
Yes, I guess Jupiter is looking at it, so it's having a drishti on ninth,
Jupiter is
probably.
not having any drishti on the ninth house.
1, 2, 7, 8. No, sorry, made it, yeah. By 8, yeah.
For those who don't know, basically Jay just asked whether Jupiter is aspecting the ninth house. Jupiter is not aspecting the ninth house. In fact, can anyone tell me what houses Jupiter is aspecting? Since whoever remembers aspects.
The 5th, 7th, and 9th, I guess.
Eighth house.
1, 2, 3.
Pawan, I can barely hear you. Microphone's pretty far from you. I guess a little far from you. I can't hear you.
I'm on headset. Okay. Could you hear me okay now?
That's fine. Can anyone tell me what houses are being aspected by Jupiter here? Monica is saying, hold on, Monica is saying 5, 7, and 9. Monica,
Those are
you're
the
right.
drishtis.
1 second. Monica, you're right. Jupiter aspects fifth house, seventh house, and ninth house from where it sits. But Jupiter is not sitting in the first house. Therefore, it's not aspecting the fifth, seventh, and the ninth house. Jupiter is sitting in the second house. So if you count 5 houses from the second house, what house do you arrive at?
I guess it was 6, 8, and
Sixth
10.
house.
6, 8, 10. Just
Correct.
add 1.
6, 8, 10. Correct. So, yeah. Monica, do you get it now? Monica says, I see. Assuming she gets it. Okay. What can you say about this person now?
Money in foreign lands and very educated about foreign lands and very spiritual and stuff like that. So
Okay, hold on. Anyone else, before I get to your answers, Jay?
copy that.
Anyone else, who wants to talk about this guy's profession?
Well, he's sitting in the Jupiter 12th house. He's sitting in the 12th house.
Correct.
Okay, sitting in the 12th house. And so, yes, it's like you said, hospitals. I don't know his spiritual life.
You're right. You're right. This person can definitely work in a hospital. 100% he can work in a hospital.
Or is it right to say the
This
person could be a
position
good
is
lawyer?
actually ideal for someone working in a hospital, but Jay also said it, foreign countries. He's absolutely correct.
Mhm.
This position is ideal for someone who wants to work in a hospital or a hospital setting. Can someone tell me why exactly?
12th house represents hospitals and Jupiter is a good planet. So
And yeah. So Jupiter's number 9 takes him to hospitals, and number 7 takes him to career.
So why? Okay, so hospitals, correct. But we could also have Venus sitting, say if a different planet rules the 10th house and sits in the 12th house, you can still say hospitals, but why in this case, why does the hospital become the ideal position for this person? I'm gonna give you guys a hint. The 6th
okay.
house also represents jobs. It represents services provided, therefore it also represents jobs. Keeping Jupiter's aspects in mind, why is Jupiter the ideal candidate to be sitting in the 12th house for someone who wants to work in a hospital?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because it's looking at sixth house also. Jupiter is looking at influencing both the houses, sixth and 12th, by sitting in 12th house.
Correct. There's
So
more.
one quick question. So couldn't this person work as a lawyer also? Because sixth house also represents lawyers and
Absolutely, he
stuff
could
like
work
that.
as a lawyer as well. He can work as a lawyer. However, if you keep Jupiter's aspects in mind, Jupiter's aspecting the 4th house, the 6th house,
Yes.
and the 8th house.
Yes.
The 4th house, because it represents your mother, it also represents nurturing and taking care of someone. Okay, does that become your hospital? Or does that become a hospital?
It sounds like taking care aspects.
Yep, that's true. And then it's looking at the 6th house with its 7th aspect, which represents someone doing a job. Okay, serving someone. Another thing the 6th house represents is diseases. So someone working at a
Yeah,
hospital,
now it makes got it.
someone working at a hospital would deal with diseases, correct?
Yes, now it
Mm,
makes sense. Now it makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Rogue report, and like money,
Yep,
diseases,
you're
sorry,
right.
debt, disease.
You're right. And then it's also aspecting the 8th house. Did we say when the 6th house is connected to the 8th house, we're now talking chronic diseases,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
right? So Jupiter is aspecting 4, 6, and 8 from the 12th house. This becomes an ideal chart for somebody who wants to work at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
Jay
sense.
also
Totally makes
said
sense.
that this person can make money from okay. So if someone came to me, Jay, okay, so if someone came to me and asked me if I can make money, okay, necessarily I'm not talking about profession, making money from hospitals. I do not see any specific connection between the 12th house and the 2nd house. Therefore, I can definitely tell him that he can make a career out of working in a hospital. But if he came to me for specifically just for money related inquiries, I would look at where his moon is sitting.
Oh, shouldn't you look where his sun is sitting? Sorry, moon. Yeah, my bad. Yes, sorry, my bad. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth. Yes, yes.
Right.
Yep.
Now, if this person came to me,
So it would be
if this
8th
person came
house.
to me now, and if he asked me, will I be able to make good money if I worked at a hospital, I'd tell them yes.
How would you figure that out? How did you conclude that?
So Jupiter is sitting in the 8th house.
Yes.
Is it looking at the 2nd house of finances?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it does look at.
Is it
It say
looking
that person. Yeah, go
is
on.
it looking at the 12th house of hospital?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it does.
And is also it's still looking at the 4th house of taking care, nurturing someone.
Yes, it does. But quick question, like, but it's sitting in the 8th house. So the outgoing should be someone who should work on something like that represents 8th house. Shouldn't it outweigh that? What would outweigh the drishti or the planet sitting the planet's position? What would outweigh over
Planet
here?
sitting in a house it will give you the strongest result of the house. Okay?
Yes.
However, you said why 8th house would be okay, or why would the 8th house be good for hospitals? Did we say 8th house is pain and suffering?
Yes, the most negative considered house, I guess.
Yeah. So if someone's working in a hospital, they're dealing with pain and suffering all day long. So if someone with this kind of a chart with Jupiter in the 8th house comes to me and asks me if he can work in a hospital setting, I would tell him, yes, you can. In fact, you really should.
What about if they don't ask you about the hospitals? And would you make a recommendation about hospitals by yourself?
I will look at a few other things. I will ask him what his interests are,
Okay.
right? Because this can also show an auditor in a foreign country.
Auditor as in?
The 8th house is also the house of taxes, audits.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because it's aspecting the 12th house from the 8th house, definitely, and Jupiter also. Again, we haven't gone deep into the significations of a planet. Jupiter also represents bank and finance.
Guru, yeah.
So this person can definitely work as an auditor in a foreign country. Pawan,
Like
for this
maybe,
case, give me
in
one
a
second there. Pawan's asking.
I'm
For
sorry.
this case, Jupiter aspects are 2nd, 4th, and 6th. Not the 6th, Pawan. The aspects are always counted counterclockwise from where it sits. Okay, so from the position of Jupiter, if you count 5 placements counterclockwise, you will arrive at 12th house. You were right about the 2nd house because right across from the 8th house, which becomes 7th aspect. And its 9th aspect is actually falling on the 4th house. Can the person make money from lending business? No, Pawan, this person should not work in the lending business. Lending is 6th house because the 6th house is the house of debts. And when you're lending someone, debts come into play. Jupiter is not aspecting or making any connections with the 6th house. Sorry, who was asking a question? Was it Angela or was it, I forget.
It was me. I was because you was going over the different types of careers for this particular person. I would say maybe like an estate planner. You said auditor. Would that also be like an estate planner for someone setting up people's estate? And I say that because of inheritance,
Estate
other
planning. I'm
people's
not so I'm
money.
trying to understand what do they do, estate planners?
They, they take what you have to plan for the future in a sense, to set it up for inheritance. They set
Okay.
it up, the paperwork for inheritance.
Definitely, this person can deal with inheritance and properties and finances.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are right. This person can do that as a profession. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But planning, when you talk about planning becomes a 3rd house. It's not making any connections with the 3rd house unless and until another planet comes along and helps Jupiter connect with the 3rd house, which we'll cover later on through connections, through conjunctions and whatnot. So far, I don't see planning, but he can definitely work with inheritance related property and finance because it's sitting in the 12th house. Sorry, in the 8th house, making connection with the 7th and 4th. Any other questions?
Yes, sorry, my question is going back to a little basic.
Monica,
right now,
sorry, Monica, you're very unclear. I don't know if you're far from your mic or not. And now I can't hear you at all.
can you hear me now? Sorry, I was on my Bluetooth. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, So my question is a little basic. Just going back here on the current position. So Jupiter is in the 8th house. I forget what the number 10 means.
It just simply means that it's sitting in the sign of Capricorn.
Ah, in the sign. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Please do not get houses and signs mixed up. They're not, I mean, just because it says 3, for those that are still new, this does not represent the 3rd house. This is the 3rd sign. Okay, this is the 4th sign and so on. So this just simply tells us that this person, when this person was born, the sign of Gemini was rising. So if you guys have heard of the term rising sign or someone's rising, rising sign or someone's ascendant, the ascendant and the rising sign are the same thing. This becomes their rising sign or their ascendant, which is Gemini in this case.
Johnny, can I ask a general question?
Yep.
So basically, I always thought that I was a Gemini because I saw the Western astrology as like, I don't know, I studied the Western astrology, but now when you provide the app to see with this type of astrology, I'm a Taurus. So it's a bit confusing because I always identify myself as a Gemini and I am not identified with Taurus, as
So
Sun Taurus.
Monica, did you make a chart of like a Vedic chart of yourself and
Yeah.
you come to a conclusion after making that chart of yourself?
Oh, no. I just saw the chart and I was like, oh, I'm a Sun on Taurus in this type of astrology, like the one that we are studying right now.
Yeah, you know, I used to follow Western astrology as well, way before I started getting into Vedic. It's
Yeah.
you will find the same results ultimately. You'll see,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you'll see if a sign's being offset or a sign switching from one house to another. What you'll see is either a planet's gonna compensate for that change or conjunction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's very interesting how every science is connected, and
Yeah.
you're gonna find similar results in different zodiacs.
Like order? Oh, okay.
Anything, it doesn't matter what you follow, whether it's one technique within. There's so many techniques even within the Indian astrology. There's what we are studying here is very basic Parashari, which is also known as Vedic astrology. Then there's KP, there's Nadi astrology. There's so many different techniques even within the Indian techniques, which may look different, but if you go into the details, you'll find the exact same outcome.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Welcome. Someone's asking, in this chart, Jupiter is showing 10, meaning sitting in the house of Capricorn, and his house is 8th, represented by Scorpio, ruled by Mars. Mars. But when you're going, we're not going to that level yet. It's just gonna throw people off. Okay. We just simply want to Jupiter. Okay, so I'm just gonna touch upon it very briefly. Jupiter sitting in the 10th sign. Okay. It's just gonna tell you that this person's gonna be involved in a profession that is practical because it's an earth sign. Okay. And if you want to go into even deeper, the fact that the 10th sign, which is the actual 10th house, is sitting in the 8th house gives you another indication that this person's career should be linked to the 8th house. Okay. The fact that Jupiter is sitting in the 8th house, which is the original 8th sign, tells you that this person can face problems in his career because the 8th house is the house of pain and suffering and major problems. So it's more than just one planet that you will look at essentially when you're dissecting someone's chart. But I'm just saying, if this person came to you with this kind of if with this kind of a chart, would you just by looking at Jupiter, you can, and this person asks you, can I work at a hospital or can I work in a foreign country? Right? If this person wanted to be, if this person wanted to deal with properties in a foreign country, yes, he can, because Jupiter is aspecting 12 and 4th.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah. Yep. And one basic question, maybe I'm still not clear about it. So we have like 12 houses, and in this case, we have chosen like 8th house for Jupiter. So in real time, is it like for one person, will it be constant, or will it differ based on the time?
It will differ based on time. It will definitely change based on time, okay? This is an advanced topic, and I'll tell you what this topic is about. I had made it clear, I don't know if you were there in that class or not. I don't even know if I made it clear in your batch or not. But there's two parts to astrology, to reading a birth chart. A static and a dynamic
Yep.
aspects,
Yes.
okay? What we are reading here is what this person can do as a career,
Okay. Makes
okay?
sense. Yes. Thank you.
Will things change with time? 100% they will change. They will change with time, because when you study dynamic astrology, or the dynamic aspect of astrology, which is an advanced topic, you really need to get this down pat before you get into dashas, okay? Dashas are basically, in the Eastern astrology, dashas are a way of timing an event. You can say dashas are a progression. They're a progression of planets, and the progression starts based on when you were born. And transits are also used in dynamic astrology and a few other techniques. But those are the main techniques. I believe the Westerners only use transits, and I believe they also have precessions and their own way of doing progressions, but dasha is a different type of progressions. And that's what we would deal with if you guys ever decide to get into the advanced aspect of it. So to answer your question again, the results will definitely change with time. Say if someone's 8th house is operating, okay, this person is going to be going, if their 8th house is operating and it's making connection with the 10th house, you will face problems and pains and tensions and a lot of stress with respect to profession, and that's what the dasha is going to show you.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
I think now it's making a little more sense for me. So there could be a person, like more than one person.
When your
This
voice
case,
is really low, I
who,
don't know if it's your mic or.
Is this better now?
Oh yeah, day and night.
Okay. Thank you. So based on the person's birth time, we who is sitting on each of these houses will be fixed in the current context, like when we are talking about static.
Your
And
birth
if we have
chart, your
changed,
static birth chart tells you what you're going to face, and the dynamic aspect of a birth chart will tell you when you're going to face it. And your static
yeah,
chart is never going to change, ever.
got it.
It's always going to look the
So
same.
one last comment. So in the static chart, if we are making changes to, say, Jupiter from one house to another, can we say it is of different people? Because for one person, it would be only one house.
Even in dynamic astrology, or even in the dynamic aspect of Vedic astrology or any other astrology, the placement of Jupiter will not move.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Again, it's a little difficult to explain how dashas, and once you get into because that's the ultimate crux, right? That's ultimately why people come to you. They want to know what's happening and when their suffering is going to end. People won't come to you when everything's going fine and dandy. They want to know when their condition is going to change. And that's when dynamic astrology comes into play, or dashas and transits come into play. That's when you look at what houses are currently active and what houses are going to activate or deactivate with the change of dasha slash progressions or transits.
Yep, makes sense. Got it.
Thank you. Okay, makes
Right.
sense.
One question, Johnny. It's a very small one.
Yeah.
Given the fact that Jupiter is sitting in the eighth house and sitting with the 10th Rashi, which is ruled by Saturn by itself. So can you make a prediction by it?
I just told you that Jupiter sitting in the 10th house, sitting in the 10th sign tells you because Capricorn, again, I don't want to go too deep into Rashis because that's not our goal, but because you got to see what kind of sign Capricorn is. Is it a fixed, movable, or dual sign? Secondly, you want to see is it a earth sign, water sign, air sign, fire sign? Do you know what sign it is?
Yeah, but how would you figure out Capricorn? How would you figure out these aspects of Capricorn? Like, is there a chart to it, or probably I missed it?
Whether there's chart to it, I don't have any charts to it, but you can find a lot of information on Capricorn online. But essentially, what you want to keep in mind is that it's an earth sign.
Earth sign, okay.
Okay? Because it's an earth sign, it shows practicality and stability.
Okay.
So with someone's planet sitting in the sign of Capricorn, and because it's a very practical sign,
Yes.
right? This person, unless and until, okay, if this person came to me and asked me if they could become an astrologer,
Yeah, then I don't think that would like constitute because it's little mysticism, right?
okay, no, this person can definitely become an astrologer. He can
Okay.
become an astrologer because eighth house is the house of occult.
Yes.
This person can
Oh,
definitely he can become a professional astrologer. However, his dealings will be more in a practical manner than mystical or spiritual.
oh, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yes, yes. Got it.
See what I'm trying to say?
Yes, totally makes sense. Yes, now.
But then Monica is saying Earth Cardinal. Yes, Monica, you're right. Earth and Cardinal. Monica, in the Indian world, the term cardinal, if you listen to any YouTube videos or any Indian or Vedic astrology, they don't use the term cardinal. They use movable.
Oh,
Fixed.
okay.
Okay, fixed is still fixed, and their dual is also dual. I get confused too sometimes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Got it. Yep. This helps. This totally helps to sharpen up the prediction or probably figuring
Yeah,
out
I
what
mean,
will as well.
if you're properly trying to open up someone's chart, there's a whole bunch of things you would look at. What other planets are aspecting the 10th house, right? So because the 10th Lord is sitting in the 8th house, what is the 8th Lord doing? Where is Saturn sitting, right? Who is he
Yep.
conjunct with? Who's Jupiter conjunct with,
Yep.
right? And
Yes.
if in this case, say for example, if Mars was sitting with Jupiter,
Okay.
would you tell this person to do a job or business?
Hmm. I guess job would be a better option. Probably because Venus represented by, I guess, Venus or Mercury, not by Mars though.
Again, we want to keep it very simple. If Mars, okay, so here we're not. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Mars is sitting with Jupiter, would you tell this person okay, so he's come to you, should I do job or business?
Hmm.
What would you tell him and why?
Okay. Given the fact it's Mars, Jupiter, I guess job would be a good thing for him, not doing a business, because Mars is something that a person doesn't rule, so he's a warrior, so it takes instructions. So doing a job would be a
You're
better
right
option.
that he should do a job and not business, but the reasoning I'm not exactly happy with. Anyone else want to tell me why he should do a job, not a business? What houses does Mars rule
1, 2, 3, 4.
in this chart?
In this
The
chart, okay.
11
11th and
1, 2, 3.
and that's the 6, I think, right?
you're
Yeah.
right, the 6th. Did we say the 6th house represents jobs?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So the 6th house is making connection with the 10th house through this conjunction.
What
Yeah.
do you say? How did you figure that out?
Sorry?
Could you say that again? How did you figure that out? The 6th house making conjunction with 10th house.
Because the 6th house is conjunct with the 10th house, Lord. Okay? Here the thing is, okay, in this case, okay, if Mars was not sitting there,
Okay.
if Mars was not sitting there, I would tell this person to 100% do a business. But because Mars is sitting there, he
Yes.
has to either do a job or he has to work as an employee in a business. Because the
Yes.
6th house is connected to the 10th house through conjunction. If
Oh, got it.
if this was the case, what would you tell them? Job or business?
Business would be good
Why?
because Jupiter itself is sitting in the 8th house, so it's alone, so not influencing anything. And the
Nope.
houses,
No. Can anyone tell me in this case if this person came to me and said that, can I do business? Okay, yes, you know what? It's not that he cannot do a job. But if
got
he
it.
wants to, if he came to me and told me I want to do a business. This guy wants to own a hospital.
Yeah, because
Why can he do it as a
own
business and not necessarily just as a job now that I've taken Mars away? Can anyone tell me why business, not a job?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Why can this person own a hospital? And he would do amazing. He would do great owning a hospital as a business.
Because
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
go on. I'm just taking this.
So, because the ruler of the 12th house is on the 10th house.
The
So,
ruler of the 12th house is not sitting in the 10th house.
sorry. No. I'm mistaken. One second. I'm gonna count. Never mind.
That's fine.
Hospitals because it's influencing 12th house for sure. Given the fact why do business because it's
I'm
influencing
gonna give
4th
you
house.
guys a hint. The hint is
Yeah.
look at the 7th house.
7th house is
Yeah. So
9.
that's 9. Okay, so Sagittarius is on that house, right? On the 7th. So
Yep.
that's the ruler of
Ruler
Jupiter.
of the 7th house, which is business itself, is
So the 7th house is business, right? Like colleagues, business, contracts.
Partners.
colleagues is
Partnership.
the 7th house, but the 7th house is business. The 10th house is career. Same lords, or the same lord, sitting in the 8th house of pain and suffering, which shows hospitals, aspecting the 12th house of hospitals, aspecting the 2nd house of making money, and aspecting the 4th house of
Family
care
business.
and nurturing.
So what you're
Okay.
saying, he should do partnerships in hospitals with family. Is it correct?
If his family owns a hospital, he can partner up 100%. Just keep in mind that everything will change if this happens.
Yes. Oh, damn, it's getting very complex, but yes, makes sense.
Okay, but I don't get why that changes. Like, is because Mars is the ruler of the sixth?
Correct.
Mm.
Anyways, let's keep it to simple. The more complex matters we take.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
We'll take one more example before we call it a day. Any questions before we move on?
In that case, on this conjunction, you said it's not like is the best option is not that this person opens a business is because it could have enemies or debts
Okay,
because of the
so you
six?
know what? It's the reason I'm saying it's a good idea is because again, that would be maybe I shouldn't have used this example. Okay, Mars is not a benefic planet.
Yeah.
Mars is a malefic planet. So if you do not listen to a malefic planet, you will face issues. You will face issues. Okay? Although the sixth house also shows diseases,
Hmm.
okay? And diseases would be covered in hospitals. So in a way, you can say he can still do a business and own a hospital because sixth house would still be covered. But you use these negative houses as much as you can. As much as you can. So if you're dealing with diseases and you're doing it as a job, because that's also the sixth house, it will be better for you. It's this was a little more complex example, but
Oh, but it's exciting. Please do
It's
those
exciting.
example. Yeah.
It's liberating though. It's very liberating.
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe we'll do one last example, okay, and then we'll call it a day. This came up in a class a few classes ago, and this person, okay, first you will tell me how this person can make money, okay? So we're switching from career to money, okay? What
Okay.
house was the house of money?
Second,
Yeah.
I asked this
yeah,
question in one of the classes in the past, and someone made a comment that this. So my question was, this person has come to you, and he or she wants to know if they can make money from gambling. So, sorry, my bad. My question was, how can this person make money? Okay. And someone told me that this person can make money from gambling or gambling related activities. Just to let you know, gambling, which is um, any sort of speculation seen from the fifth house.
1, 2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Any sort of speculation related activities are seen from the fifth house, which Mars is aspecting.
Yes.
So my question here is, can this person make, so was she right or was she not, right? This person. It's actually it's a very good example because if you were to talk to someone and if they only looked at the planet and how this person can make money, they would probably tell you yes, but I would tell you no. Okay?
It has no connection with second house for sure.
No,
Mars
Jupiter
is
is no longer there. Mars is sitting in the 11th house.
this shows they're not gonna have good friends and social circle for sure. But gambling
We're not talking about
is
social circles. Someone's come to you and they want to know if they can make money, okay? How they can make money. And this person told me that they can make money from speculation related activities, and gambling is one of them. So they definitely, why can they make money from speculation related activities? And my first hint is that fifth house is speculation.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
I guess it could, but because you are not like hearing the planet, I guess, because it's a malefic, like the precautions would be greater. Like it will have more loss. Like it will be dangerous for the person. But he could do money from gambling, I guess. but
I guess
because
it
it's
would-
Mars,
First of all, why can he make money from gambling?
because it's aspecting the fifth house.
And it's a
Okay.
negative planet.
But the
So
fifth
negative
house
planet,
doesn't,
yeah.
the fifth house doesn't represent money. Why is Mars telling me in this chart that this person can make money from gambling?
Oh, but the fifth house is not like gambling or like play,
Nope.
like, no? Okay.
I want to know if this person can make money from gambling. Think about Mars's aspects.
Mars is like a warrior,
Okay.
very determined.
Let's forget about what he does in his free time. I want to know what if Mars can give this person money through gambling.
Can I,
Answer is yes, and there's two ways why this chart is telling me in two different ways that this person can make good money from gambling. You guys tell me.
let me, I just wanna get my bearings. Mars is sitting in the 11th house, correct?
Absolutely.
And Mars aspects 4, 7, and 8.
Exactly.
Oh,
So my 4 will take me to the second house.
Absolutely. So you got the first point correct, that it's aspecting the second house of money.
And then it will also aspect the 7th house.
It's not aspecting the seventh house. It's aspecting the
No.
seventh house from where it's sitting, so therefore it's aspecting the fifth house.
yes.
Aspecting the 5th house from where it's sitting. So that's what I want to do, because I think my count is off, because you say 4, 7, and 8. So I'm doing my counting, right? I got
Do the
2 right.
counting, but keep in mind that you're always going to start with the placement itself. So do not neglect the 11th house. So you have to count starting from the 11th house. You can't make the 12th house your starting point.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So it's aspecting the fifth house and the sixth house as well.
Correct. So
Okay, 7th and 5th house. Okay, got it.
yes, this person was absolutely right. The person who told me that this person can make money from gambling or any other speculation related activities, this person was absolutely correct. Okay, and there's two reasons why. One, Mars is sitting in the 11th house, which shows house of gains. Okay, do you remember we spoke 11th house is the house of gains and profits?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Second thing is that it's aspect the second house of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if someone came to me, I would tell this person no, unless there's other benefic aspects on planet Mars, but there aren't. So far, I don't see anything. Do you guys agree that the Mars is a malefic planet, first of all?
Yes, exactly my point. Yeah. So it will be very negative if he goes like this, but please continue.
Do you guys agree that Mars can create fights?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
totally.
Is Mars aspecting the sixth house of enemies?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Is Mars again aspecting the second house of family?
Yes.
Is Mars sitting in the 11th house of friends and network circles?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I do not see any benefic aspects on Mars, and this person came to me and asked me if they can make money through gambling, I would tell them,
Okay.
yes, you can, but keep in mind.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do you think, Monica? Why is there a huge but in this statement?
Well, unless he wants to be alone, no friends, no family, maybe in jail. I don't know.
I don't know about jail, but you're actually correct, because chances are once he gets that money, his family and his friends will turn into his enemy.
Yeah.
Enemies, sorry, not enemy. Chances are,
And-
because Mars itself represents conflicts and fights. And it's
Possibility he could also end up in jail, right?
I don't see any connection with Mars in the 12th house. Jail's the 12th house. It's definitely possible because the 6th house also represents litigation. Okay.
Exactly my question.
But
Yes, is like
unless and until I don't see a connection with the 12th house, I will not tell him that he will be visiting in jail. But I can definitely tell him that this could lead to conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
Going to courts probably.
Courts,
Going to
yes,
courts.
courts, conflicts,
Mm-hmm.
issues with family, and issues with friends. Okay. Now, before we
Makes
wrap
sense.
up, what can he do?
Not enough data probably. Just by
Sorry?
Mars, not enough data, I guess.
I mean, just by looking at Mars,
Then 12th house would be Jupiter. So where does Jupiter sits determines what he could do. One prediction.
okay. I'll tell you guys what the fifth house also represents. The fifth house represents creation, right? Creation? Did we
Creative.
say that the fifth house also represents creation?
Yeah,
Creativity
creativity. Yeah.
is being a developer. If someone's a developer, okay, it's a
Yeah.
fifth house related activity.
Okay.
Can this person work as a developer and do a job specifically as a developer?
I'm talking about software developer or some other kind of developer.
Software developers.
Yeah, he could.
Yes, you
Maybe
can.
Children's
probably
software.
UI UX developer, probably creative stuff when it comes to development.
Yes, developers are seen from the fifth house. They develop
Okay.
stuff, right? They develop things. It's
Yeah.
you're creating things.
Okay.
If this person, and it's also technical, Mars, again, that's a little more in depth. Mars also represents technical activities.
Mm.
If you're
Okay.
working as a developer for a
Okay.
company, as a job, not a business, you would do very well. But if this person started to gamble, he will make money, and he will also run into major troubles after gaining that money.
Got it.
So many statements by just looking at one thing, but yes, eventually at the end of the day, you have to outweigh which one is more predictable.
Yes.
So is it like you always answer the questions or you make predictions by yourself? What is how do you start this?
It's best to guide. So here's the thing. Astrology is best used as a guidance tool than a predictive tool.
Perfect. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Right. Any questions before we wrap up?
When is the advanced class? Are they
Yes,
gonna
that
give
was my
advanced class?
question.
Advance, it won't be happening until fall. I'm creating a course using um, different
Combinations?